The opening scene takes place in a shop with constant arguing. Hey, did you see that there's a new Kangchi map on DC? Did you just find out? I ranked first as soon as I woke up this morning. What, all by yourself? He and his teammates kept complaining. Damn it, yeah. But this map is crazy, buddy, very hard. The teammate next to him replied, I told you that Kangchi guy isn't normal. Then he turned to look at the fully dressed guy behind. How does he get first place so fast whenever there's a new map? I bet he's using a bot or something, otherwise it can't be explained. Another person sitting next to Kella asked, Did you hear that? Are you using a bot, buddy? Anyway, why do you keep eating here all the time when you're making money like crazy? He chewed slowly, then answered, Don't you know? This place has really good food. Anyway, this time I ranked first again, so you better get ready. He just agreed with him. Yeah, all right. Then he turned back and said, Kid, you talk like getting first place is a given. You really are a bot. Kella didn't answer. He quietly looked at the computer screen. Huh? I guess they're not totally wrong, technically. I only find joy in the gaming world and when creating maps. Finally, a voice rang out, Have a good day. Before leaving, he didn't forget to say goodbye. All right, see you tomorrow. Don't forget to treat me with that big wallet. Kella naturally leaned in to reply, Yeah, see you. On the way home, walking down the street, he quietly thought if anyone asked why I'm so addicted to this game. It's because in real life I can't control anything. I find it easy to do everything in the game, while in real life everything seems impossible. Even those useless phone poles are things I can't move. If they were in the game, I could change their shape and size with just a click. Suddenly from afar, a truck rushed toward him at a very high speed. As it got closer, he still didn't realize anything. He slowly tilted his head to look at the speeding truck. Too bad in reality. Too bad in reality it can't just disappear because I want it to. He stood there silently. The truck suddenly stopped. Kella sighed in relief when he saw that scared me. I thought I'd get reincarnated or something. The driver immediately rolled down the window, yelling at him, Hey, are you trying to kill yourself? What the hell are you looking at? Kella said nothing. Just pointed forward where she had just looked, then gently reminded, Sir, please look at the traffic light first. The driver was surprised when he saw the pedestrian light had turned green. When did the light change? Kella didn't even care. Slowly crossed the street, so annoying. If I could change everything in real life like in a game, everything would be so much easier. Then I could create the world I want. Suddenly, at a nearby construction site, a cable snapped, causing building materials to fall. The workers there kept shouting warnings, Oh no, crane, move away. A little girl holding a small toy stood frozen, looking at the falling materials. This scene made him panic. The iron bar got closer and closer to the little girl, however. Then he quickly rushed to catch it like now. The ball the little girl was holding instantly flew away. The iron bar fell. Luckily, the little girl escaped. The little girl sat on the ground, eyes frightened, looking at him. I can only control my own body. His body was pinned down motionless by the iron bar. Blood kept flowing from the wound, spreading all over. See? This is real life. The moment he logged out, he was suddenly taken to another space. He tilted to look around, astonished. Where am I? It's so dark I feel like I'm in a black hole. Am I not dead yet? Suddenly a strange voice sounded mortal. The hellish world of oblivion, now it's time for you to face reality. Seeing the monster in front of him, he was scared and asked, Who are you and what is this, the hell of oblivion? The monster slowly replied to him, Death is only a means to reincarnation. Kella was stunned upon hearing that what? It looked at me and began activating a full-body covering technique, giving me a chance to recall my memories. Witnessing this scene, I panicked and shouted, What are you saying? Speak clearly so I can understand. It didn't care much and started awakening my memories. Oblivion, open your eyes. I opened my eyes wide in disbelief. Wait, what are you doing? Wait. My eyes stared blankly straight ahead. When I opened my eyes, I had become a different person. Kella was stunned by the surroundings. I exclaimed in surprise, What? It looks like a castle. Who is this person? Me what? I'm not dead. After observing, I suddenly fell silent, trying to remember everything I had experienced. Could I have been reincarnated like an anime? Really? But I still couldn't believe the truth before me. No way. I thought in shock, but this feeling. It's too real, this isn't a dream. So then, where am I? It seems like I'm inside an ancient castle. Who am I? What are you mumbling about? Suddenly, a flash of light appeared. My eyes widened in surprise, looking forward. Seldera stabbed me through with a sword. I still couldn't believe it. What? Without stopping, she pulled the sword out and charged again. Seeing me clutch my chest in panic, she was very satisfied. So you thought you'd die, huh? Cuff. I looked at the wound on my chest with a terrified expression. It hurt so much she pierced through my sternum. Then I turned my head and asked, What's the point of that? She calmly replied, What do you mean? I hate you, so I'm trying to get rid of you, of course. Hearing that made me furious. What, you really intend to kill me? The sword in her hand was suddenly knocked away. Seldera looked accusingly at him. Tarme, why are you blocking me again? He carefully screwed the bottle cap back on and replied, Come on, Caldera, you shouldn't treat your brother like that. This made me extremely angry. What the hell is going on? Who is this guy? Then he took the bottle in his hand, slowly sat down and offered it to me. Poor Kella. Caldera is bullying you again today. Drink this. I quickly grabbed the bottle and drank it hurriedly. I guess it's like a miracle cure, right? Thank you, goddess. My strange action surprised him a bit. What is this? Are you really drinking it just like that today? At that moment, my body suddenly showed unusual signs. Then I vomited a red liquid. I held my neck, feeling continuous pain surrounding it like my throat was on fire. It hurt so much it's burning. Is it poison? Caldera saw that and approached me to observe. Are you planning to die? I want you to die by my hands. He beside her continued, it seems he's in pain, but I don't think he'll die. I guess that recipient also failed. I held my neck in excruciating pain. Why do I have to endure this? The door suddenly opened. Then a voice rang out. Demon King Hel Khaldun has returned from the hero hunt, Caldera said in surprise, father's back. Tarme added earlier than expected. I looked toward him with a somewhat stunned expression. What father? This father had a very strange appearance. I thought inwardly Demon King Hel Khaldun. That man was the Demon King. Heel looked at them, asking, why am I treating these wicked noises? Caldera kept blaming me. I'm sorry, father. I began speaking. Heel immediately lifted both of them up with his hands. Be quiet. It's such a disgrace that the week's moans echo within the Demon King's castle walls. Caldera kept apologizing to her father. I'm sorry, father. Tarme beside her tried to explain. I'm sorry. Please forgive me, father. I was still very stunned if those two are my siblings. Then this Demon King is my father. His eyes were full of murderous intent as he looked at me. I only wish to hear two sounds in my castle. The birth cries of the four great Demon Kings. I panicked, thinking, wait a minute. Before my eyes, he threatened with a voice of glorious death. I opened my eyes wide in astonishment. Loud screams echoed through the mansion. In the room, continuous groans, cough, cough, cough. I tilted my head thinking, so I have been reincarnated into another world. But I am the son of that bastard. Damn it. It really is the Demon King out of everyone. Childhood memories of Kella appeared. Mother Caldera poked my eye with a fork. My mother kept reassuring, no, it must have hurt a lot. Kella told his mother Tarm poisoned my food. I don't remember my mother comforting, but giving advice, if so then. You should also retaliate like a demon. Even so, I still dare not. If I do, Caldera and Tarm could kill me. I laughed horrifically and replied, then you just need to kill them before they kill you. My eyes were extremely shocked. My mother told about my father's achievements. He killed 12 siblings and became a great demon king. I mean, if someone tries to kill you, you should kill them first. My mother took out a sword, then stabbed my belly like this, like a demon. I shouted loudly. Mother, my mother then asked, do you understand, Kella? Back to reality. I woke up startled. A subordinate asked, are you awake yet? I didn't answer, silently thinking, this is the body I reincarnated into. Those are Kella Khaldun's memories. The wounds on this body have completely healed. Kella possesses an extraordinary healing ability. The subordinate sighed disappointedly, seeing that you have slept quite long this time, Lord Kella. It's almost family meal time, please get up. I immediately agreed. Okay. The personal servant Lynn Kella is much more timid than other siblings, so always looked down upon. Lynn pointed to the side. Please wear that outfit for this party. Kella hesitated briefly, but I heard my brother's servant will dress him. Lynn leaned over and said, I can also help you dress, hearing that I panicked and changed my mind. No, I will dress myself. Lynn assigned me a task. Today's job is to fold blankets, hearing that made me wonder, but this is your job as my servant. Seeing her sleeping soundly on the bed made me a bit helpless. That is my place. She sent a doll to work in her place, Lynn. Back to reality. I glanced at the servant, thinking, Kella, that sly kid. How can he let me, the son of the demon lord, be bullied by a servant? Yes, Kella. Kella clenched his fists angrily. Has been bullied helplessly all this time. My life here is no different from my previous life. The weak will die. Delete. During the meal, Hel looked at me reproachfully. You're late, Kella. I frowned, thinking his presence is majestic. Surely he is the demon lord for a reason. Kella slowly sat down, sorry for being late. Caldera wouldn't sit still and kicked me. Welcome, Kella. A blade stabbed straight into my leg. The pain made me grimace. Caldera smugly pretended to advise, you don't look very healthy, eat more. Kella thought irritably, I don't know what will happen if they find out who I am. Kella replied, understood, thank you, in my head. I silently calculated I must restrain myself. I slowly scooped each spoonful and ate. But feeling that something was wrong, this is not food. Could it be poison? Tarme smiled at me. That soup was made especially for you. Very delicious, isn't it? Kella agreed, yes. These demons, they are not family. I will not let them bully me anymore. I have to do something about this. I always want to achieve something by myself. With that thought, I was recognized as the strongest map designer in a game. But when it comes to real life, I can't do anything. I never want to. Die helplessly again. Kella was silent, his eyes showing clear hatred. He picked up the plate of food Seldera, then directly messaged her to try the soup made by Tarm. He drew his sword Tarm so I can show you, then threw it directly at him, a gift from Seldera for him. Hell was eating and couldn't help but be shocked. Kella slowly stood up. Father, why are demons gathering and happily eating a family meal together? From now on, let's eat separately. Witnessing this action of his left all three stunned. Delete. In his mind, he silently wondered, let's see who will win those demons. Outside the castle, after causing a commotion, he was very satisfied. Wonderful Lin felt a bit confused. What's wrong with him? At the same time, he recalled the scene then, although I overturned the table and was almost beaten to death. Are you crazy? I was able to fully recover in such a short time. I can feel a strange power. I guess I really am the son of the Demon King. I'm curious how strong this ability is. Lin looked at him and reminded Lord Kella it's almost time for the lesson on demon power. You need to get there quickly. But before she finished speaking, he interrupted. I know, don't boss me around. His action made her immediately freeze. Why is he acting like that? Kella looked silently into the distance, thinking a lesson on demon power. According to Kella's memory, it was one of the worst things he had ever experienced. But there was no reason to skip it. The trainer's voice rang out. Lady Seldera and Lord Tarm will not join us today. I see everyone else is present all together, responded yes. He glanced sideways, thinking it's those people. I remember them from Kella's memory. In the memory, Kella looked at them with some panic. I really can't do this. Rude raised his hand to attack him. I guess there's no other choice. This is a lesson Kella tried to dodge, continuously shouting it hurts. They are the real demons among the demonkin. Those who like to bully Kella as if it's a game to them. Seldera suddenly stepped forward and asked, Hey, aren't you being too gentle with him? Making him a bit surprised. Sorry. She added, no need to hold back. Show us your real strength, I permit you. Rude was excited after hearing that. Thank you, Lady Seldera. Then let's start. Seeing him about to attack, he immediately pleaded, please stop. Delete. In his mind, he thought, I don't want to fight, please stop. Kella is not weak. He is just a man with a soft heart. But now everything is different. I will use this power properly. The teacher looked at them and asked, now shall we start? Rude pointed at him and declared who sparred in the previous class. Kella and me. I should say Sir Kella, but Sorry, his attitude made Kella very angry, that brat. The teacher looked at them and began to speak. Great, let's do the second sparring match. Rude looked at him smugly. Sure, are you ready? Around them, people kept talking with contempt and mockery, it seems. Young Master Kella will be beaten near death again today. Take it easy, Rude. Young Master will cry otherwise. Kella frowned those people, especially annoying with their gaze. His expression was somewhat pensive, thinking Kella and I are alike in many ways, even in my previous life. I had no money or power and everyone looked down on me. But that was a matter of the past. Faced with your power, he couldn't help but be amazed. What is that? Does Kella have that much mana? Everyone around was equally surprised. What is mana really? Rude looked at you with a furious gaze. I couldn't move because of the pressure. Kella now clenched his fist and charged at him. Today I'll go easy, just one hit. With just one move, he was defeated by you. He fell flat on the ground. Everyone around gasped in shock. What is that? Rude couldn't react at all. Is he dead? It seemed that his spear no longer looked like the shape of a demon. Kella looked at him sternly. You said something earlier, Kella. How dare you talk to the son of the Demon King like that? Rude no longer dared to shout, but begged in fear. Please spare me, Sir Kella. Your eyes were filled with threatening, murderous intent. Don't make the same mistake in front of me again or you'll die like that. Not only him, but everyone around became cautious. How could that happen? It must be that loser Kella. You quietly called teacher. The teacher startled and replied, yes. Then you looked at the teacher, reminding him. Hasn't the class continued yet? He replied fearfully. Let's start. Lin was also very surprised at your change, Sir Kella. He must be strange. Hill was secretly watching them from above. His gaze was focused on you. At the same time, an indescribable feeling arose in his heart. At Hell Khaldun Castle, an angry voice rang out, I cannot forgive him. That bastard dared to throw poison soup in my face, Tarm heard, and immediately reminded Seldera, calm down and focus on healing. You don't have the terrible healing ability like Kella. Conversely, it made her even angrier. That's strange. Why is it only he who has such healing ability? Tarm's face darkened. It seemed that Kella had undergone a change. The image of you at dinner appeared in his mind. From now on, dinner will be eaten separately. Everyone was very surprised at this change. Hell smiled quietly. Even if only for a moment, Father. The first time in our lives we see Father smile. Back to reality, the more she thought, the angrier she became, thinking of Father smiling because of someone like Kella. Tarme calmly said, yes, that is not normal. Caldera looked confused and asked, so what do you mean? He slowly replied, Caldera, maybe you'd rather die than cooperate with me, but seeing that she was a bit stunned, Tarme smiled and continued, why don't you stop fighting for a bit, then take care of Kella together? Caldera smiled smugly upon hearing that. Not a bad idea. Then both spoke together. Let's kill Kella before he attracts Father's attention again. Kella felt something was wrong. The image of the Demon King appeared in front of you. The teacher spoke to explain this is the former Demon King, Turk Kaldan. You inwardly thought irritably, what is that? He looks really demonic. On the board, the teacher kept teaching. Sir Turk was once stronger than all at one time. He only died because of a cowardly plot by the Heavenly Guild. Since then, opportunistic hunter guilds have gathered near our kingdom. You frowned slightly, thinking the guilds around the Demon Kingdom are deeply imprinted in Kella's memory. Kella's memory appeared because of those bastards of this guild. I can't even escape from this castle. Think about it. I have to live here forever, damn it. Back to reality, you silently looked ahead. The teacher was still focusing on teaching with the Great Heavenly Guild as a foundation. Those bastards are preparing to attack this kingdom. Therefore, to help King Hell eliminate those bastards, focus on combat class. The whole class said in unison, yes, for the honor of demons. But you remained silent, saying nothing. After class ended, you sat alone at the top of the castle. I need to find a way to escape from here. If I stay here, I can die at any time. Feeling the servant approaching, he asked, Lynn, you said Dad will leave in 3 days, right? She replied, yes. That's right. He continued, do you know if this castle has a weak point? Surely my question surprised her. It was too sudden. Kella added, there is no architect or map maker to utilize the terrain for battle. Those bastards from the guild are using the abandoned land around us to attack. So I will take advantage of the time before his next expedition to draw a map of this entire area. So Dad can eliminate them one by one. I will help him. Now prepare to really escape. All right then, it's time to officially start the escape. This is different from reality, meaning I can create the map as I want. Kella suddenly pointed beside her and shouted, Lynn, create a secret office in the castle basement right away. Lynn anxiously asked, excuse me, an office. Kella angrily added, I need a space to work secretly that Dad doesn't know about. In the room, Hell silently sat in the chair. He thought to himself, he is scary, no longer the Kella I used to know. Before it's too late, I need to confirm that. Seeing the scene in front of him made Fap a little panicked. What's going on? Lynn pointed at the room and said, this is the office you ordered. But this room not only displeases you, but also makes you uncomfortable. What kind of office is this for the great Demon King's son? Lynn tried to explain, because I have to keep it secret. This only makes you more uncomfortable. This is the best I can do properly. Looking at her scared face, he thought to himself, I must treat her strictly regularly. She looked at him and thought, he's scary, not the Kella I once knew. But he became colder. I should work here. Kella immediately pointed outside. You stay here. Get me a cup of coffee. She obeyed and quickly ran out. Yes, sir. Coffee. As soon as she left, he immediately returned to his original posture. She's gone. He carefully observed the map on the table. This Demon King's castle has no hope or dreams. Now it's time to create my map. Lynn wiped away the continuous thoughts in her head. Coffee. But she immediately stopped. What is coffee? Hell approached Lynn. What are you doing in the basement without Kella? She yelled in panic. Great Demon King. Heel asked for information about him. Where is Kella now? She was too shocked to say anything so about that. He growled, answer me, in her mind. She thought Kella told me to keep it secret. In the room, Kella observed the map with a delighted expression. So fun. I think I'm lucky this world is quite like a game. I think I like making maps the most. A strange noise sounded outside. Immediately after, the door was blown open. Hell entered with a very angry expression. I can't believe someone set up a secret office without telling me. Seeing this shocked him deeply. How could Hell? Without waiting for his reaction, he immediately attacked with a strike. His eyes were full of murderous intent as he sternly warned, if you want to kill me, don't be sneaky like Conard, come see me directly. He gently called Father. At the same time, he thought silently, this pain level is different. Is this the power of the great Demon King? I really might die. Suddenly, he raised the map in front of him. Father, look at this. Looking at the map in his hand, he asked, what am I looking at? He trembled as he explained the outskirts of this castle are very disadvantageous for battles with guilds. If we change the terrain as I drew, erase. I will become a powerful assistant for the upcoming battles. Why did his gaze suddenly pause for a moment? Then he immediately released him. He bowed his head and asked, so why did you secretly set up an office? He trembled as he tried to explain, if I said you wanted to serve Father smoothly, Father would not allow it. That's why I want to show you this. After it's completed. As the son of the great Demon King, I want to help destroy heaven. Upon his words, he silently looked on. Lin was terrified. Did he want to die saying such words to the great demon king? Suddenly he asked, how long do you plan to take? Hearing that made him a little surprised, excuse me. He pointed to the map and asked again, how many days do you think it will take to complete this map? His eyes widened, looking up and thinking in his head, so even hell understands my map, then happily answered, 5 days is enough. Heel looked at him with obvious dissatisfaction. 5 days, heaven will regroup in 3 days. Your map will be useless then. He looked at him and affirmed, no, not 5 days, I can finish it in 5 hours. His affirmation stunned him greatly. He raised the map and continued, and in 3 days we can complete construction before the upcoming battle with heaven. So please let me lead this plan. He silently looked, then he smiled slightly. Then left satisfied, very good, try to finish your map. If you only talk nonsense. I will tear you and your map to pieces. He enthusiastically answered, yes, of course. After his figure left the room, his eyes showed pleasure I did it. Immediately after, he clutched his stomach in pain. Just seconds later, he collapsed and vomited blood. His eyes looked up with anger. That demon, he intends to kill me. His son. Am I useless? She looked at him with admiration. Kella has successfully persuaded the great demon king, looking at her with great anger. Lin, what are you doing? Don't just stand there watching. Take him to the infirmary. She immediately obeyed. Yes, sir. As I promised, I finished the map in 5 hours. The great demon king's castle forces gathered and began large-scale construction. Mages set up illusions outside the construction area and altered the terrain to avoid detection. Like my new map being created in a game, everything went according to my plan. At the heavenly assembly point, a voice from their side rang out, what? They are changing the surrounding terrain. The elder is the Heaven Guild leader, Hermeson. Killian placed his hand on his chest and answered, yes, we detected they are deceiving with illusions. The elder asked, is it those two people? He asked again, should we attack and stop them? After hearing, he immediately refused, no. Doing so is useless this late. In 3 days, the strongest team formed in Talua Talcan will arrive. Talua started forming Talcan, their strongest team, decades ago, and now that elite team is finally complete. They cannot defeat the strongest elite team prepared for decades. In just 3 days, the great demon king Hell will be defeated. On Kilman's side, he continuously urged everyone keep going. In 2 days, we will reach the great demon king's castle. In the name of Talcan, the generation of the great demon kings lasting thousands of years will finally end. The people behind shouted loudly, charge, burn down the demon king's castle, advance. Lady Thrills looked up admiringly. Commander Kilman's leadership is extraordinary. The guy beside her asked, Commander Thrills, will we hunt the demon king? She replied, yes, we the Talcan team are different from other guilds. We will make sure to kill the great demon king inside the castle. Hell leaned on the chair, thinking Kella did not lie about the map. Although I have to admit it's not perfect. But my body is almost at its limit. I cannot be picky anymore. Tomorrow finally comes. I will settle everything with heaven. Kella kept urging, there's no more time. Move faster. Move faster. Everything is progressing according to plan. At the same time, he thought to himself, it feels completely different from making a map in a game. Thinking that I can freely change this land is truly amazing. I just need to wait for the battle between hell and heaven. And tomorrow is the big day. The next day, the day of battle under the town, people kept shouting cheers. Talcan has arrived. Talcan, the strongest team, cheers for Talcan. Hermeson looked at Kilman with gratitude. Thank you for coming here, Kilman replied. The Talcan team is ready. Let's go, defeat the Demon King. The old man listened and was extremely delighted. Yes, I agree. Let's go straight to the Demon King's castle. Kilman immediately raised his hand confidently. Move forward, Talcan, bring victory back to Talua. A gem appeared in the sky, falling straight down to where they were. A dazzling flash of light surprised him. What was happening? This is a sudden attack. Everyone form a defensive formation. A huge power radiated from the gem dust, swirling everywhere. He shouted orders. Move aside. Kilman exclaimed in astonishment, that is. Hermerson was equally surprised. Impossible. From within the smoke, a dark figure slowly emerged. Heel appeared before them. Everyone shouted in unison. Hel Khaldun. How could he be here? Flashback. Kella pointed at the map, explaining the idea to his father. Father, I've removed the barrier that made Heaven's surveillance magic focus on us. Now you can use teleportation without them tracking you. Hel was a bit skeptical, teleporting into the Heaven base. Caldera immediately stopped him. Wait, Father, don't tell me you intend to teleport into the enemy base. Tarme also spoke up. That's too dangerous even for you. He frowned and asked sharply, are you doubting the Demon King's power? His words made the two panic. No, that's not it. Father hasn't fully recovered. Hel shouted silence. I will make the final decision. Tomorrow I start in the middle of the Heaven base. Back to the present, Hel looked at them and declared, I will kill each and every one of you. Kilman gripped his weapon and angrily shouted at him, "You bastard, you caught us off guard. But we'll make you regret coming here, we are Talcan." Talcan's squad commenced full assault. Hell frowned, observing them. He attacked, causing a massive explosion. Elsewhere, Kella had gathered all forces on one side. He looked down, thinking, "Good, I have gathered all forces." Then he shouted orders, "Now all preparations are complete. Everyone advance." Below, the demons kept shouting encouragement. Killian unleashed a technique, shouting at them, "The demon castle forces are charging. What they came from underground but still can't withstand the demons' sudden attack. Things were increasingly out of their control. We are ambushed by demons. Stop them from reaching heaven." At Kella's side, he clenched his fist. In his mind, he thought everything is going according to plan. From afar, a voice called, "Kella, come here. I don't know what made you do this, but things won't go your way." Tarm beside him added, "Unfortunately, Kella, I wouldn't have done this if you hadn't crossed the line." Seeing those two made him stunned, Teldera Tarm. His face darkened, he raised his weapon toward them. "Please die, there's no place for you here." Immediately after he was attacked, the weapon stabbed straight into his stomach. Seeing the wound, his eyes showed panic. Tarme shouted, "Now, Caldera." Caldera swung her weapon forward. "Even your crazy healing speed means nothing if I cut off your head." She needed her sword to behead him. Both of them laughed cheerfully. He was stunned, as if he couldn't believe the truth in front of him. In his mind, he silently thought, "This is the end. Delete. Delete." His body gradually fell down. His body and head separated and fell to the ground. Soon blood covered around his body. His head twitched, slightly coughing. Seeing this, Caldera was very happy, finally chopped off Kella's head. Tarmi said with a laugh, "Now let's go help Father." Caldera suddenly pulled out her weapon. She looked surprised. She stabbed the weapon into his arm, found his weak spot. Tarm shouted to Caldera. I quickly stepped back and laughed at him. "You're really quick-witted, Tarm." Tarme looked at her in shock. That's Mother's weapon, and we're forbidden to use it." Caldera didn't care. We're demons who cares about rules. Weapons are meant to be used. Hearing that, he seemed unable to believe the truth before his eyes. "Dude, is it really true?" Caldera pointed her weapon at him, smiling and asking, "If I kill you right here, I'll be the only one left, right? Then I will be the sole heir left." Tarme growled her name, Caldera, then immediately charged to attack. "I will kill you." Caldera was no less rushing forward. At the same time, "It will end when you are stabbed by this knife." Both charged at each other simultaneously and shouted loudly, "Just die already." At that moment, a huge explosion occurred in the castle. Kella looked around, thinking silently, how can they be so cruel? They are exactly as I imagined. At this time, he lost consciousness. Below the ground where his body was, a crack suddenly appeared. Lynn was underneath, raising her hand to catch him. She held his head with one hand, the other pulled his body along. She dragged him into a hidden corner, then hugged him tightly, her body trembling with fear. Elsewhere, the demons spoke, running toward the secret path. "We will go around and attack the sky from behind. They are guarding there, waiting for the demons. Stupid demons, we already know. All your tactics just passed through the space path and saw the guards, couldn't help but be surprised. They already know. Everyone attacked simultaneously now, don't let a single one survive." The demons didn't fall behind and immediately charged. Whether they knew or not didn't matter, fighting for the honor of the demons. No matter what, there's no turning back. A dragon opened its mouth, gathering power, then roared loudly and attacked forward. Hill saw this and was astonished. Dragon's breath, it's been a long time. He stepped forward and climbed onto the dragon's head, then grabbed its neck and twisted it. Kilman saw this and hurried over, terrified. Damn it, he's already in. On the other side, this group kept attacking the demons. Everyone unleash your full power. Even so, they still charged like a storm. A huge power radiated from his body. Kilman looked ahead. "Have we caught him yet?" Another asked. "Not yet." But claws slowly appeared. His hands gradually transformed. His body changed rapidly, growing huge and towering before them. Kilman was terrified to see this form. His appearance he transformed, just like in the book. Lady Thrills was also very surprised. That was the Demon King's final form. Feeling something unusual, he trembled and spoke, "Commander, my body." Lady Thrills immediately ordered focus. "Everyone, don't let fear control you." Kilman saw this and was extremely angry, damn it. He looked at the man and thought, even I can't control my own body, so of course no one else can move because of fear. Hell remembered his son, the only disadvantage in Kella's plan. Even if they can immediately concentrate their forces on the heavenly base center, we will have no way to retreat. That is the only disadvantage of this plan. But I don't consider that a problem for the Demon King. The Demon King shouldn't worry about having a retreat or not. Perhaps Kella has also considered that. However, that doesn't matter right now. I just need to kill everyone here. Kilman noticed something unusual and shouted a warning. He was about to unleash his full power in his final form. We have to give it our all and risk our lives. His eyes flashed with light. Both sides charged simultaneously, creating a huge explosion. "Back to you." Lynn hugged him tightly, her eyes full of worry. She kept pleading, "Please, please, please." Recalling the past, his angry voice rang out disgusting. She asked, when will you get used to this? Kella kept urging it hurts, quickly reattach it. She quickly reconnected his arm, then asked again, is it done yet? Kella looked at her fully movable arm, feeling unsurprised. Just as expected, it worked again. Good. Next, we will do my head. She was extremely shocked hearing that his head. Kella touched her own head, then said, I need to make sure I can do it with my head too. Lin was very angry hearing that. Are you crazy? He put his hand on her shoulder to reassure her because my head might be a bit more dangerous. We will go slowly. Please, cut carefully. She immediately refused, I don't want to. Kella adjusted her collar and said, that's enough testing. Now go tell Seldera's servant exactly what I told you, make it sound natural. Hearing that, her eyes immediately widened in surprise, then looked at him with a helpless expression. I'm telling you the truth. Kella is planning to kill young Master Caldera in this battle. He asked again, what? Lin stepped closer and whispered to him. He will do that while the Demon King is busy fighting heaven. Another servant shouted loudly, that bastard dares to plan that. Lin sighed. I think this is a good chance for young Master Seldera to behead Kella. That will definitely kill him no matter how fast his recovery is. The more she thought, the angrier she felt. Damn it, it's happening exactly as his crazy plan. But it means nothing if you die here, idiot. Suddenly his voice rang out. Who are you calling, idiot? Hearing that made her very surprised, Kella. Kella slowly sat up and said, I really thought I would die. I guess my recovery slowed if cut by the mana-infused dagger, but it's okay because I survived. Everything is still going according to my plan. Lin was so emotional when she saw him wake up that she almost cried. After that, she rushed to hug him. Master Kella, I really thought you died. It seemed that this sudden action startled him. What the hell? Then he immediately pushed her away. Stop, I survived, so I'm going now. At this time, I undo the contract between Kella Khaldun and Servant Lin, and grant them freedom. His words completely moved her Master Kella. Kella turned her head and said, now that the contract is no more, live the life you want to live. She was still in shock, staring at him. His silhouette gradually faded away. Memories from childhood flashed back. Kella looked at her and suggested, you be my friend instead of my servant. The more she thought about it, the more emotional she became, almost to tears. Then she rushed to chase after him. Take me with you, Master Kella. Her actions confused him. Why don't follow me? The two of them kept struggling. No, I'm going with you. You'll only get in my way, damn it. Kilman held the spear and looked at him. Hell Khaldun, you monster. His hand was now severed from his body. This left him extremely astonished. How is he able to stay standing in such a state? The great demon himself, that's what he is? He cursed silently. Damn it, it's frustrating, but I can't beat him. No matter who it is, no human can stop this disaster. He remained silent, not speaking. Then he observed his surroundings, thinking they've been nearly wiped out. His eyes widened in astonishment. In his mind, he thought, and so have my soldiers. Seldera, Tarm, Kella. I guess they're not coming after all. No, this was my fight from the start. This is my last remaining mana. Now everything will end. Kella quickly ran over. Just seeing the exit made him feel joyful. I finally see the exit. That's where I can get away from the surveillance of the demon castle. Once I get there, I will be free. Suddenly she spoke up to stop him. Hold on. Master Kella, hearing that, made him a bit confused. What? From a distance, a strange source of energy rushed towards them. She immediately unleashed her power to protect him. Kella shouted in astonishment. What is this? Lin spoke up in response. I knew I was smelling a strong scent of blood. In the distance, a group of people nearby watched them. Hell Khaldun. I guess you're also a parent trying to evacuate your children. I knew we should have hid here just in case. Just seeing them made him curse silently, damn it. They've put a surveillance team at the secret exit. So they knew about the construction all along, one of them exclaimed. We can't let a single family member of the Demon King live. After that, the group launched a simultaneous attack. Kill him. Lin stepped forward to create a magical barrier to protect him. Master, I'll hold them off, so please run away. Hearing that, he immediately protested. But what can you do by yourself? She replied, I'm your servant, Master Kella. My priority is to protect you. Kella gritted her teeth, her eyes clearly showing anger. Thinking from what I can remember, Lin is only capable of simple defense magic and she can barely use attack magic. Lin is planning on sacrificing her own life so that I can survive. Seeing he wouldn't leave, she shouted loudly, What are you doing, Master Kella? Hurry up! And suddenly he stepped forward and placed his hand on her shoulder. Lin. Then he threw her back. How dare you act all strong? Her confusion at his actions was evident. What are you doing? Kella stepped forward, then turned back to reproach. If you're going to follow me, at least don't die in front of me. It'll piss me off. His words seemed unbelievable to her. What? At his appearance, one of them spoke up, You idiot, now there's no way for you to run away anymore. They said middle-class magic is enough against Kella, the weakest in the Demon King Castle. Kill him. He disliked hesitating and charged forward. Kella has always been timid, hasn't used his powers, and he's never shown his true capabilities, which means everything you know about me is untrue. Seeing that made her astonished. How is Master Kella? It seemed even they couldn't believe the truth before their eyes. Impossible. I thought his mana was low rank. He didn't care and quickly rushed in. With a single move, he easily defeated them. His eyes revealed killing intent as he asked, "Is that so? I guess you need to check your sources then." He spoke up to stop. Hold on. Kella paid little attention and attacked. In an instant, he no longer had life. Lin stared at him in shock. No way he defeated a Heaven's Mage with his mana. Another one among them looked at him as if he couldn't believe his eyes. Impossible. You should be nothing more than a wimp with no combat power. He turned back to answer their doubts, and I told you that information is wrong. Hearing that, both of them began to prepare their spells to charge together. If that's the case, you leave us with no choice. We'll use the Light Spear spell. Even so, they still held a sense of caution in their minds. If it's the Light Spear spell where we use all of our mana in a single attack, after preparing thoroughly, they charged at the same time. If we fail, we'll be the ones who will die. Seeing the situation was not good, she quickly intervened. "No, Master, please get back." She charged in front of him to take a hit for him. Seeing the situation was unstable, he couldn't help but panic. "What? I can't move my body." Lin's body was shaking uncontrollably. "Master, I'm sorry I couldn't protect you." Seeing that they hit the target, they breathed heavily, but were extremely pleased it worked. It landed perfectly. One of the two pulled out his sword. "This is your end." Suddenly coming from behind to help him wait. "Don't you think we deserved a little reward for going through all this trouble?" He angrily turned to ask what. To the one holding the sword rushed to grab her collar. "Don't you think she'd be fun to play around with?" She angrily shouted, "You scumbags! I know everything that you've done to us demons." Tham brought the sword close to her neck threateningly. "Shut up, I'll play with you soon." Watching his actions made him extremely furious, so even the humans of this world treat other people like objects. Then he took the sword and moved towards him, but first, let's kill the Demon King's little baby. He looked towards the exit, feeling that he missed it just by a hair, damn it, but the exit is right there. "I can't believe I'm gonna die like this. I was nearly there." He raised the sword, ready to strike die. Lin screamed in fear. "Master Kella." Suddenly a strange beam of light appeared from somewhere. "What's with this feeling something's coming?" Kella was extremely surprised to see that as he already finished with the battle. "My plan. Is it ruined?" Hell slowly spoke. "Listen, Kella. I have fought countless times and considered all possibilities just as many times." Hearing this made him extremely surprised and asked, "What are you talking about?" Hell slowly mentioned each person. Caldera does not have any consideration for her fellow demons to become the Demon King. Tarmi doesn't have the ambition to become the Demon King. Kella, however, was still not very concerned and kept looking at her father, asking, "I don't care about them. I want to know how you got here." He replied, "A Demon King has the ability to pass his mana down to his bloodline before dying." Hearing these words made him stunned. "What?" He looked at him and spoke, "Though it was only for a very short time, I have seen that you are the best candidate to become a proper Demon King." But after hearing that, he not only didn't feel happy, but became extremely panicked. "What are you talking about? You're mistaken." Hell, not caring much, slowly spoke, "I, Demon King Hell Kalden, pass down all mana left in my body to my son, Kella Kalden." Kella repeatedly tried to stop him. "Stop, what are you doing?" Before leaving, he silently instructed in his mind, "My son Kella, do not mourn my death, be like a true demon." His head had now been severed from his body. Lady Thrills softly called, Hell Khaldun. "The Demon King is dead. General Killman sacrificed himself for it." She softly called General. Killian asked in surprise. What the subordinate beside him replied, "Hell Kalden is dead." Cheers erupted around. "The Demon King is dead. Hell Kalden is dead. We won. We are the victors." A source of light accompanied by intense power enveloped his body. That source of energy sparkled. Lin was astonished. The light spear was dispersed by young Master Kella's mana. Then she called out, "Young Master Kella." The group of mages was also shocked. Why did his mana suddenly increase like that? He smiled with satisfaction. What? Looking at the energy flowing through his body made him very happy. Hell is dead. The more he thought, the happier he became. "Yeah, my plan worked." Seeing the situation was not good, they began to look for an escape. "Damn it. I'm out of mana. We need to get away from here." He quickly pushed her behind to move Lin. He looked toward their group. "I can feel an endless void of darkness. This is the power Hell gave to me." They panicked and tried to stop him. "Demon, do not come close to us." He asked back, "Demon, what did you say to Lin earlier?" Then immediately rushed to attack. Each terrifying force that he easily blew away. "You guys are the demons." The last two crashed hard into the wall. The weakling continuously exclaimed. "What other power I have," he thought to himself. "This is Hell's power, but it's straining my body. My body can't handle this much power yet." He asked her, "Lin, can you move?" She replied, "Yes, young master." Then he immediately ordered, "Then let's get out of here." Lin quickly followed. Yes, young master. At the same time, he silently thanked her anyway. Thanks, hell. I'm able to escape the castle thanks to you. Outside, the castle had become a devastated place. The clear sky in front of him made him very delighted. I'm free now. The more he thought, the more he smiled contentedly. He silently thought of future plans. I can go anywhere I want and live the life I want. A ray of light suddenly flashed by, making him a bit curious. What is this? She explained that light. It's a teleportation spell. Hearing that surprised him. What? Immediately he reached out to her. Lin, hold my hand. Her eyes were astonished. From where they stood, a powerful light emanated. Both were enveloped in a source of power. Then they were transported to another place. Looking at the surroundings made him a bit astonished. Where are we? I didn't know you could use teleportation magic, he replied. It wasn't me. It's sort of like an alarm spell that father put on us in case he died. She looked up at her body and couldn't help but exclaim, now that I think about it, all of my wounds have healed. He slowly replied, we have probably spent 3 days within the teleportation space. I'm sure he did that on purpose so we can heal in case of emergencies. Lin understood this and said, I see. So it's both a healing and teleportation spell in one. After hearing that, he didn't respond but frowned and thought, since he put such spells on his children, I guess he really is a parent. She followed him and asked again, so does that mean the Demon King has passed away? He replied, that's right. In his mind, he felt joy just as I had planned. Suddenly she suggested, then now, please become the next Demon King. Hearing that, he immediately turned around with a slightly surprised expression. What? Why would I? She looked at him and explained, I realized something recently after seeing how you've changed. It's that you're the one who's fit to be the true Demon King. So from now on, I will do my best as your servant until you become the next Demon King. Her actions made him a bit confused. I think she's misunderstanding something here. After that, he sighed in frustration, sighed, do as you please, while thinking, since I lack manpower right now. Suddenly, she spoke up to stop him. Please hold on. This place is the magic country Arsol, where they nurture talent for the sole purpose of defeating the demons. Demon King Hel Kaldan has perished. Let the light of Talua be eternal. Hearing that made him a bit confused. What, why here of all places? Who knows what could happen to us if we're discovered here? She quickly used transformation magic on them. Let's use transformation magic before they see us. He quickly complied. Let's do that while feeling a bit surprised. Transformation magic is something even Kella could do. He tilted his head and looked at her, asking, Lin, tell me everything you know about this place? She immediately obeyed. Yes. Then she began to explain Arsol is a small island country located on the eastern border of Talua. They are blessed by the giant cryptid watergore who lives in the nearby seas, which allowed for the natural development of magic, and they brought up many strong mages. They have been an enemy of the demons for a long time as one of the countries under the control of Talua. After hearing that, he felt a bit confused. I wonder why father sent me to such a dangerous place. She next to him immediately retorted, why did you decide to come to the capital of Arsol while saying such a thing? We need to run away. He looked at her and continued, running away requires some prep work. At the same time, I was secretly calculating, in order to achieve my dreams in this world, magic is very important. And in this country, everything is done through magic. Magic is used in even the most common buildings, and some buildings are floating with the power of magic. If I could learn magic from here, I would be able to make even more buildings than I could in the game. Her stomach suddenly growled. Lin quickly hugged her stomach. My stomach. He looked over at the neighboring stall and suggested we should eat something first. She held the food in her hands with a very excited look. This is the famous magic dish of Arsol. Delicious. At this moment, her gluttony arose. Lin pointed at the nearby delicious dishes. Let's try that one next. The bread in her hand showed clear signs of enjoyment. This is delicious as well. Not only did she stop there, she continuously wanted to eat more dishes. Let's try that one too. That and that too, which made him feel utterly helpless. Maybe I should leave her here. In the bar, many voices echoed in turn. Let's also visit this magic bar. Sigh, relax a little. Lady Thrills held a beer glass in her hand with great delight. Drinks are on me to celebrate the subjugation of the Demon King. Order anything you want from this shop. Yay! You're the best. Commander. Thrills, the hope of Arsol. Hooray for Thrills, the greatest mage. The crowd was extremely happy. Hooray for Thrills of Talk and hooray. Of Lin and he had blended into the crowd without realizing it. Hooray for Thrills, hooray for 3 drinks lightweights. His face had begun to turn red and slightly tipsy. Well, I guess taking a break isn't a bad thing. Lady Thrills suddenly glanced at him. The two of them were still happily drinking. She exclaimed, what an interesting couple we have here. He replied irritably, you were the first to suggest that we drink. She spoke up. It was a festival held to celebrate the death of the Demon King, too. Suddenly a voice rang out. Come out here, there's a new S-rank quest. What? But the Demon King's dead? Let's take a look, he asked curiously. What's with the ruckus? She continued. I can't believe it. Until now, the Demon King hunt was the only S-rank quest, but now there's another one. Let's go take a look too right after that. She immediately pulled him along. On the announcement paper, his face was clearly visible. The crowd saw it and continuously lamented, unbelievable. I thought it was all over. I didn't know the Demon King's children are still alive, those damn demons. She looked up, her eyes immediately becoming dazed. That's you, young master, he exclaimed in panic. The Demon King's already dead. Why me? Seeing his words were reckless, she immediately covered his mouth and forced a smile at everyone. He's just really drunk. The crowd looked at the picture of him and spoke judgmentally. Isn't Kella the weakest out of the Demon King's children? Then this will be easy. It'll probably be more like a B-rank quest. I bet all the hunters are going to be out for his head. The more I think about it, the angrier I feel, damn it. I better lay low if I don't want to get caught. Immediately after he gave the order, let's go. Lin, upon hearing that, she hesitated a bit. Yes, young Master K. I mean, what should I call you in public? He remained silent and didn't answer. Then he suggested a name, call me Chiwu. Upon hearing that, she was a bit surprised. Chiwu. What the hell kind of name is that? He looked back and replied, just call me that. She followed him, speaking as they walked anyway. This is bad. I didn't think people would realize so quickly that you're still alive. He responded, let's get what we need from here and leave. She immediately agreed. Yes, young Master Chiwu. Lady Thrills looked with obvious interest. Another S-rank quest, is that true? He replied yes as he passed by her. She immediately forced a smile and said, we just took a look. Kella looked on quietly, assessing people in the tavern earlier, called her the hope of our soul. She must be no ordinary person then. Lady Thrills downed her beer and asked the Demon King's son alive, those damn demons. He lowered his head, pretending to agree. Well, Kella is supposed to be weak, so there's that. She immediately chimed in, yeah, I'm sure it won't be a big deal. Lady Thrills remained silent after hearing that. She threw her arm around their shoulders, surprising him and Lin. Then she looked back and asked, it won't be a big deal even though that Demon King bastard's son is alive. You two, I noticed this earlier. But you guys really do smell strange. Lin felt a bit worried after hearing that. Did she catch us? Lady Thrills slowly spoke, you two must be. Her eyes became increasingly panicked. She's definitely onto us. But her next statement left them astonished travelers who haven't taken a bath in a while. Do you want to wash up at my place and get more drinks? Kella and Lin looked at each other in confusion. Immediately after she agreed, of course, feeling relieved inside, we're safe. At her house. Kella sat quietly in the bath, a cozy hot springs water. A nice cup of tea and a snack that I've never had before. He held the piece of cake in his hand, showing a bit of curiosity. Are these made with magic too? The more he thought about it, the more satisfied he felt. I've always wanted to live in the world of games. It's like my dream came true. This isekai thing isn't too bad. On her side, it was completely the opposite. Lin, while sitting with her, was extremely panicked. Get it together, Lin. You're dead if you get caught here. Lady Thrills asked, isn't my bathtub so nice, Lin? She reluctantly replied. Yeah. Why are you so nervous? Someone might think you're a demon who got caught. She forced a smile as if, seeing this, Lady Thrills began to cast magic then. I'll use a scent to help you relax. Hearing this, she immediately became panicked, thinking to herself, this is of the holy element. This is the worst scent for demons. It takes away our mana. It's gonna undo my disguise spell. Help me, young Master Kella. I find this quite interesting. Thrills laughed in surprise, Lin. You know, I thought that it'd all be over once the Demon King died, that all my suffering. Lin could only be at a loss for words, blushing and thinking, stop talking so much, I don't want to hear about it. I want to leave, while she was still lost in thought. Thrills said in a sad voice, I've been designated to become a mage, ever since I was born, so Unable to stand it any longer, Lin stood up and shouted loudly, you can reminisce later. I need to use the restroom, see you. Seeing her actions, Thrills couldn't help but laugh. The only thing is her smile was a bit strange. She must have not liked the holy scent. The scene shifted to the long corridor. Lin tiredly exclaimed, that could have been really bad. At the same time, Kella also stepped forward to greet the hot spring water. Is really nice. I'm so relaxed now, she angrily replied. This is not the time to be leisurely enjoying a bath. My disguise spell was almost undone. He still didn't understand what she meant. What do you mean? Lin's face had become very serious. Thrills used a holy scent. Demons lose their mana from just that if it's manifested by an advanced mage. Hearing this, Kella began to ponder and calculate. Really, that could have been really bad. Then I'll take another bath before leaving, seeing him act like that. She hurriedly stopped him. What are you talking about? Let's get out of here. At that moment, Thrills walked up in surprise and asked the two leaving, "You said you'd get a second round with me." Seeing her appear, Lin could only force a smile. "Yes, I did say that, but it's time for us to go. It seems Thrills is calculating something." She raised her hand in the air. "Why aren't you curious about the drinks and dishes made with magic?" Kella was puzzled by these words, food magic. "Yeah, second round, let's go." And Lin angrily looked at him with a gaze that seemed like she wanted to eat him alive, young Master Kella. The time needed to shift towards late evening. Many people had gathered in front of the castle. They were continuously discussing among themselves with great excitement. "So there are demons here, yes? Not just demons, but the Demon King's child. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We have to get them no matter what." The house remained silent, seeming to have no strange movements at all. Inside the house, Thrills excitedly asked, "What do you think? It's good, right? It's made with holy water." Kella smiled and nodded in praise. "It's good." But in reality, Kella's face, along with Lin's, was gradually becoming unstable. "Damn it, holy water, it feels like my body is burning." I was excited because she said it's food made with magic. After a period of silence, Thrills proposed Lin what we were talking about earlier about the life I've lived. In order to kill the Demon King, I joined the Talcon squad and trained with my life on the line. I got this scar from a test back then. Seeing this scar makes Lin a bit startled and confused. I didn't see that scar earlier, though. She laughed and continued to show the two a scar on her face. "It's not nice to look at. I actually don't have an eye either." Seeing this large scar made both of them freeze for a moment. While both were still confused, Thrills began to recount. "I was hiding it all with magic because every time I see them, it feels like the pain of that day is with me again. Time goes back to before the soldiers loudly shouted, 'Get up, that much won't kill you if you're alive. Then get up and think about the Demon King.' We are a squad created with the sole purpose of taking down the Demon King. We must endure all pain and kill the Demon King. Get up and shout, what is our goal? Killing the Demon King." Closing the memories. Thrills returned to reality. I sacrificed my entire life to kill the Demon King and got these scars. What did you guys do in the meantime? Yes, you must have a scar like this too, right? Seeing her actions made Kella a bit startled. After examining the wounds on his body, Thrills found it a bit interesting what your skin is so smooth, no scars at all. Her actions made Lin also startled young Master Kella. "Kella doesn't know what to do next, damn it!" Thrills' hand touching me is slowly undoing my disguise. Thrills approaches and whispers in Main's ear, "Chi-Wu, you are a demon." Seeing that she knows everything makes him even more anxious, so she did know. At this moment, a white mouse suddenly runs out from the kitchen. Here, shadows of various wizards keep appearing. Lin, seeing this, is startled and exclaims, "Mages." The faces of both of them gradually become serious as they realize the situation. Wait, did she bring us here as part of a trap? Seeing the wizards appear, Thrills shows no fear at all. "You're all here." The leading wizard angrily steps forward and scolds her. "Look at that eye. Heaven's message was right. She's just been hiding her true self." Thrills is a demon that infiltrated Arsal. Hearing this, Kella and Lin are startled to realize things are going in a different direction. What? He is confused, thinking silently they're not here for us, but for Thrills. She's a demon. Seeing the situation is not good. Thrills slowly raises her hand. "You're right. I have no reason to hide it anymore. It was actually me who leaked the intel that I'm a demon." The guy leading the group of mages immediately declared there is no reason to hesitate. She's admitted it herself. Kill her. The look in Thrill's eyes was somewhat frightening as she declared, "I am an elite mage of Talcon. I'm not someone that just a dozen or so mages of Arsal can deal with." Seeing the situation, Lin quickly turned back to remind Kella, "Young Master Chi-Wu, get out of the way." His face gradually became helpless as he saw everything going in a different direction. Shit. This is bad. A huge explosion occurred at this place. The scene became extremely chaotic, with smoke continuously rising from the fierce battles of both sides. Lin stood there in shock and said, "I can't believe it. Such powerful mana." Seeing that she was still fine left Kella a bit bewildered. Did she just protect us? Thrills still stood there and asked, "The two, you guys are demons too, right? You can't hide it from me. I'm Demon King, Hel Kaldun's daughter. Thrills Kaldun." This statement from Thrills left both people speechless for a moment. What? She laughed slowly and pointed a finger at both of them. "We don't have much time, so I'll show you with memory transfer magic. Erase." Everything happened in the blink of an eye. Both people were still stunned by the scene unfolding. At the moment of reverting to the past, the two demons looked at the scene before them and became joyful. We finally succeeded. A demon who can hide her horns and demonic power. Thrill's eyes widened as she recognized the man before her. It's Hel the Demon King, our absolute king. Hell's face was somewhat cold as he looked at her. My blood runs through your veins, which would make you my daughter. These words left Thrills stunned for a moment. I'm the daughter of the Demon King. Ever since I was born, I had always been one of many lab rats. Every day was like hell for me. Day by day, I would undergo painful experiments, and all I could do was to endure them. After all the kids who were born with me died, I thought I was going to die just like them. At that time, Thrills was just a very weak child. But standing in front of Hell, Thrills was very skeptical of those words. But you're telling me I'm the Demon King's daughter? Thrills' face broke into a forced smile. It's an honor, my lord. After thinking for a short while, he immediately decided, then let me bestow you with a name. Your name shall be Thrills Calden. You will act as a spy and infiltrate heaven to deliver me their information. There's no other way. She could only nod in agreement. As you wish. Her eyes seemed to have gained hope in this world. If it's for my father Hell Khaldun, the Demon King, I can do anything. Sometime later, voices echoed outside the vast palace. Look over there, someone's on the ground. It's a little kid. I think she was attacked by the demons. We need to bring her back and treat her. The story was gradually recounted from that point on. I acted as the Demon King's spy. Eventually, I worked my way up to Talua as a mage of Arsol, and in the process, I endured everything that came my way. Then finally, I rose up to become one of the strongest in the Talcan squad, the elite force, after being affiliated with Talua. After 15 years, I was finally able to meet my father again. Looking at Hell's face, Thrills was filled with emotion. Father, I wanted to run and embrace him, but I couldn't. She encouraged herself, I'm almost there. I need to wait until everyone except Kilman dies. My role was to secretly use magic on the Talcan squad to get in their way, and support my father until he kills General Kilman. And once Father wipes Talcan out, I can finally return to the castle with him. I wanted to live a new life by Father's side as Thrills Calden, however. Kilman sat still on the ground, angrily scolding as expected of the Hell Khaldun. You've exceeded my expectations. I acknowledge you as the strongest opponent I've ever faced. Heel still coldly stared into his pitiful face. You acknowledge me. I do not require acknowledgement from a human like you. This made him feel somewhat amused. You really are arrogant, Demon King, then shall we end this? This is my final attack, which I have poured my everything into Spear of Heaven's Martyrs. Heel also refused to be outdone and quickly used the Hellfire technique in response, Flames of Hell Magnalexer. Seeing this situation, Thrills hurriedly ran over Father. But it was all too late. This place had turned into a mess. She could only stand there in despair, watching everything happen. In that instant, I heard Father's voice. Hell slowly turned his head and called out, Thrills Khaldun, my daughter, this is your next command. Serve the next Demon King as you have served me, and protect him until the end. Thrills shed tears of despair, Father. What is meant to happen will happen. Everything exploded in an instant. The smoke gradually dissipated. Hell had completely lost her life to Kilman. Seeing Hell's head lying still on the ground made Thrills freeze in shock. Her whole body trembled in despair. No. After so much time, she still couldn't call Hell Dad Father. As time passed, the story was recounted. After witnessing Father's death, I had no choice but to return to Talua since backup forces had arrived. All the people became extremely joyful. We won. We defeated the Demon King. Thrills could only listen in silence. People from all over the entire continent, including Talua, celebrated his death. They celebrated the Demon King's death for the first time in millennia. After that, I decided to retire and return to Arsol, to my second home where I began my first job for Father. I will start afresh in this place, in order to avenge Father's death. Back in reality, Thrills was still excitedly telling this story to two people. I was planning on wiping them all out, starting with Arsol. It seemed like too much time had passed, but the wounds in her heart had not yet healed. Lynn found it hard to believe after hearing that's impossible, you're a daughter of the Demon King. At the same time, Kella on this side angrily thought, damn it, I thought I finally got away from those demon siblings. Even though we aren't related by blood, I didn't expect to have another sibling. Thrills gently turned around to inform the two. I won't force you two to cooperate with me as fellow demons, but I will tell you one thing. Arsol is a core threat to the Demonkin, as is the Magic Country. The longer we let this place be Kella Khaldun, the last hope of the Demonkin, the sooner you will die. This statement left Kella momentarily speechless. Unconsciously, his palm had clenched tightly at some point. Yeah, she's right. Even in the game, mages acted as an important force in battles. If we let them be the one who'll be in danger is me. While the three were still talking, the group of mages approached and scolded, damn it, everyone must already be headed here after healing the explosion. We can't let anyone else take credit for this. Everyone use as much of your mana as possible. These bastards, they probably thought we were humans just like them at this moment. Kella suddenly spoke up, yet they still attacked us without hesitation. His words left Lynn beside him, extremely confused young master. His horns finally appeared in an instant. This is just self-defense, okay. Sensing that something was off, Thrills turned around in surprise. Her gaze gradually turned to astonishment. This energy, there's no way. Father's power. Kella still stood there domineeringly. The story has been retold. That night we fought forever. Kella returned to her true nature and attacked the sorcerers. In Lynn's eyes, it probably looked like a bloodbath. For Thrills, Arsol felt like a second home, so she knew the entire layout. She destroyed all the main government facilities as well as the Magic Academy. I also used Hell's Mana to conquer those in power, those intoxicated by the excitement of the festival. The screams echoed continuously, "Help us." With our cooperation, the Magic Nation Arsol, the crowd of sorcerers could only grit their teeth and curse. This cannot be happening. Easily taken down. There were flames throughout the city, and even the sky was stained with fire. At that moment, a sorcerer struggled to sit up and looked at Thrills. "No, I can't believe it, Arsol. Arsol can't fall so easily. You evil ones, I will never forgive you." As soon as he finished speaking, he was killed by Thrills. She sighed, recalling the words of that sorcerer earlier. "That's what I wanted to say. I am the one who cannot forgive you. Starting from Arsol now, the Talcon team, and the great Talua Empire, I will end all of you." Kella, upon hearing this, was surprised and asked, "So many?" Lin on one side was somewhat worried. "That is impossible." Seeing that the situation was not good, both hurriedly turned to leave now. "We've helped each other out enough. Let's split ways." Thrills suddenly called out, "Wait! Did you think that I wouldn't recognize that mana? You, your father's second son? Kella Khaldun, right?" Realizing she knew everything, Kella slowly turned her head. "I guess there's no point in hiding." There was no other way. He could only admit, yeah. This made Thrills speechless, really. It was only at this moment that he felt truly foolish. Shit, was she just guessing? After a moment of thinking, Thrills slowly spoke up. "I was just a tiny bit suspicious. But then, I'm not a daughter in the traditional sense. I'm more like a mutant that was made with father's blood. Aura, because of that, I acknowledge you even more as father's bloodline. I was made after you were born. So you're my older brother." Kella was left speechless upon hearing this, not in the least. At this moment, Thrills seriously suggested, "I assume you want to avenge father, right? Come with me then." He could only be left speechless, thinking, "I ran away from home, revenge, why, ass?" As if reading his intentions, her face became extremely frightening. "You're not running away, are you? You're the only remaining bloodline of the Demon King father's only remaining child." Seeing this situation, Lin hurriedly signaled, "Please, just say that you'll go with her. She looks like she'll kill us if we don't." After a period of silence, Kella finally spoke up. "I will take revenge, of course, because he had been desperate, thinking I have no choice at this moment." Thrills excitedly moved forward. "All right then, let's go. Let's burn them down." Although he was very unwilling, he had no choice but to nod in agreement. Yes. In his mind, he had his own calculations. "I need the magic of Arsol, and Thrills will know all of it. So while I can stall for time by using revenge as an excuse, I will treat her like one of us." After all three had left, a wizard managed to escape just in time. He had silently calculated, "I need to report to Talua about this." We received an urgent message from someone in Arsol. Inside the vast palace, a trembling voice rang out, "Your great king of Talua, we have received an urgent message from someone in Arsol." The king was enjoying delicious dishes while asking, "Urgent, what is it?" Hayden seriously reported everything that Thrills in the Talcon team is a demon, so the wizards of Arsol tried to eliminate her. He was very curious and asked, and then Hayden tightly closed his eyes to report everything. Kella Khaldun appeared and burned Arsol to the ground along with her. Hearing this information, the king was extremely angry and shouted, "What? The son of the Demon King is in Arsol." The old man continued to express his thoughts. I think he might have a connection to Thrills, which made the king unable to hide his anger inside. Damn it. Not only is Thrills of the Talcon team a demon, but the burning of Arsol by Kella if this comes to light. This will make us a laughingstock. Kill Thrills and Kella Khaldun. Before anyone finds out about this, if you do not bring their heads to me, then you will lose your position. Hayden's gaze was somewhat cold as he placed his hand on his chest. "I swear by my name, Hayden, that I will kill them." Having said that, the old man turned and left this place. He advanced toward the head of Hell placed in the glass case. Looking at his head, Hayden angrily thought, "Hell Khaldun, your blood is constantly disturbing me. I swear that I will burn all those who carry your bloodline." Sometime later, in another vast place, a voice echoed, "Where is the news about the Killian team?" Hayden's subordinate hurriedly entered to report. "General Killian must have received the message already. I told him to return as soon as he saw the message." Hayden's face became displeased when thinking about this person, Killian. The best knight who surpassed even Kilman. To kill Kella and Thrills, we need Killian. On the other side, Killian unhappily asked, "So, Kilman, my brother, is dead?" The subordinate, though a bit scared, nodded in confirmation. Yes, he sacrificed himself to kill the Demon King bravely. Killian's face became extremely unpleasant, so what he's been killed by a demon at that. The subordinate hurriedly shouted to remind Talua needs you in order to hunt down Kella Khaldun. He still stood there, coldly speaking. I don't care whether Talua wants it or not since the demons killed my brother. I will kill every demon on the continent, starting with Kella Khaldun. Erase. The scene before Kella made him freeze for a moment. He was speechless, looking at the large piece of meat in front of him, who's going to eat all this. Thrills next to him turned to remind, don't eat it if you're full, it isn't even enough for me. Lin looked at her with a doubtful gaze. Do you perhaps have a secret for not gaining weight? She replied while eating. If it goes in and out quickly, then you won't get fat. Hearing this, it seemed that Lin understood something. I see a miracle theory. At the same time, Kella became very cautious with Thrills, who was calculating everything anyway. It's good. She isn't trying to kill me like Seldera or Tarm. I was concerned if she would be jealous of me due to me being of the main bloodline. After a moment of silence, he looked at Thrills in front of him. Do you have anything against me since I'm a biological child of my father? Her gaze became very judgmental, of course, to the point where I want to kill you as expected. But because you share the same bloodline with my father, the one I always love and respect. I cannot hate you! Moreover, because you have my father's blood, I really need to protect you by any means possible. Hearing Thrill's words, Kella felt a bit touched, and thought unlike the other two siblings, she will protect me instead. She gently placed her hand on his hand, so from now on, I will risk my life to keep you alive. Her action made Kella blush and nod, okay, thank you. Seeing his face red like a tomato, Lin next to him became very confused. What is it? Why are you blushing? She angrily quickly brought the piece of meat back to him. Dear Kella, eat mine too because you have used a lot of mana. You need to eat a lot. This made him a bit confused. I'm not hungry though. Lin continuously placed her hand on her chest, affirming, I will protect your health. I will until I die. He sighed and nodded. I understand, so please calm down. At this moment, Thrill's voice rang out anyway. Due to the situation of our Sol, it should be known to other countries. There will be many demon hunters gathering here. Since it's not safe, we should find another place to sleep. Kella shook his head, explaining, No, this is really a great place to rest overnight. This made Lin next to him feel confused here. He nodded confidently, smiling yes with just a little effort. It will become an impenetrable secret fortress. First, we changed the terrain to turn it into a secret fortress. After that, while resting, I reviewed what I learned from this battle. After using a lot of mana, I had to rest right afterward. Looking back, even the Demon King rests after a battle. Thrills, who used more mana than I did, needed a longer time to rest. So we safely recovered while being protected by the secret fortress. Time shifted to the morning of the next day, and the sound of horns continued to echo. As soon as Killian and the cavalry appeared, all the surrounding people did not welcome them. Talkin of White. It is Killian, Mr. Deed. At the same time, Hayden also spoke up to report, Majesty Talkin of White has arrived. The king laughed excitedly upon hearing this. That's right, just looking at them is enough to give me goosebumps. I welcome your return, my strongest army, Talkin of White. Deed next to him laughed and added, Captain Killian, it seems you have become stronger several times in that short time. If General Killman saw this, he would be very pleased. This remark made Killian fall silent for a moment, looking frightening. Seeing the situation was not good, Audria hurriedly stepped forward and scolded loudly, Deed, be careful with your words. He was startled and confused by her loud voice. You are still the same Audria. Remembering something, Kalka turned and looked at Killian in surprise. Captain Killian, do we have to follow the king's summons? I don't think my anger will be satisfied even if we kill Kella Khaldun right now. He just sighed suddenly and replied, Sorry, Kalka. There is something I need to show Curdly. The scene shifted to the Grand Palace. Killian stared at the head of Hell right in front of him. So it was you. The one who killed my brother Khaldun. Seeing a head like this startled Deed as well. How gruesome, Audria quickly spoke up to signal silence. Remembering something, he turned back and asked, Curdly, does the tracking curse work with just the head? She nodded in confirmation. Yes, Captain. The bloodstains on the head will allow me to search for those of the same bloodline. Under Curdly's magic, Hell's head suddenly glowed. At the same time, Killian loudly ordered, Khaldun, keep your eyes open. Watch what we are about to do. Hell's face remained in that present without any movement. Time passed, and Thrills stood in front of everyone declaring, All right, now that we have rested, let's catch those bastards. Team 2 of Talkin will be summoned soon. Lin on the side felt very curious. Team 2 of Talkin. She seriously turned back to explain for the job. To be honest, in Talua, there is not much hope that the first team will succeed in killing the Demon King. Basically, we have been exploited as an experiment. The team that Talua sincerely established and focused on is the second team, the Talkin of White. Hearing this name caught Killian's attention, the Talkin' of White. Thrills quickly recounted about this man, the team of Kilman's younger brother, Killian. An elite team made up of fighting geniuses. This made him feel confused, and he asked, so hell the father killer Kilman is weaker than them? Unconsciously, her palm had tightened at some point. I don't want to admit it, but they are much stronger than Kilman. I can't even estimate how much stronger they are. Killian's face became extremely serious upon hearing this. This made Lin on the side a bit worried. So how do we infiltrate Talua? Thrills turned around to share his plan. The Talkin' of White is currently in separate training, so it will take time to regroup. Therefore, we need to defeat Talua as soon as possible. Kella was also quietly calculating the next plan. Talua is much larger than Arsol. Relying on luck alone won't help us win this battle. His gaze clearly showed suspicion, so. After thinking for a short while, Kella immediately called out, Thrills, think about it. With the mission to hunt me down, the Talkin' of White has probably regrouped already. It is unreasonable for the three of us to attack Talua without help. We need to develop an army and build our own base. Lin found it hard to understand these words, an army and a base. Kella continued to nod in confirmation. Yeah, an army that won't lose even to the Talkin' of White, and a base that won't fall even if the soldiers of Talua were to invade. We'll construct the strongest dungeon there is. Thrill's face was oddly excited. The strongest Lin beside him became more worried. Dungeon. Perhaps this has been carefully calculated by Kella, so we can't gamble on battles we aren't sure about. If we do, we'll just end up like father. We'll create the strongest dungeon there is and wage war against Talua. The two understood this idea completely after hearing it. Thrills kept praising. You're not wrong. I wouldn't expect any less from father's son. But at this moment, Kella was quietly calculating in his heart, I'm glad I just came up with that on the spot. Can't wait any longer? Thrills quickly suggested, now let's go create our army. I know some guys we can take in. Lin was also looking forward to this happening. Yeah, let's go. Both of them excitedly cheered for our war, for our war. Seeing both of them so happy, Kella was a bit startled to think they really liked my idea. Anyway, this is how I'm going to stall for time. In order to make my own world where no one will interrupt me. A map that I could not bring to life in reality, my own perfect world. Just thinking about this purpose makes him more determined. Remembering something important. He looked at Thrills. Thrills, you said, you know, some trustworthy demons. She nodded in confirmation, right? Yeah, several. Without thinking much, Kella immediately ordered, we first need someone who knows a lot about geography and terrain. Although a bit surprised, she still nodded in understanding, I see. I know someone, let's go. A long time passed, the scene shifted to below the vast mountain. I began learning Arsol's magic on the way to our destination. It was not the kind of stuff I should have been able to learn in a short period of time. But thanks to the Demon King's blood, Kella always focused on learning the necessary things in front of both of them. I was able to learn pretty quickly. I'm learning and using magic with my own two hands. It feels like I'm getting closer to my goal. Time flew by quickly. 4 days later, all three of them were still walking forward. Thrills announced, we're almost there. Lin looked around in surprise at this place, a demon living in such a barren place. Her face was somewhat contemplative as she slowly recounted it wasn't always like this until Talkin staged an ambush. Both of them were startled and confused to hear that. Sensing that something is wrong, Thrills quickly commanded both of you do not move no matter what. This time, a group of people appeared yelling, stop damn talking, are you after us again? I'll kill you, Talkin. The spear pierced through Thrill's body, but she seemed hardly concerned. I already knew. It seems the demons still haven't heard about me. Seeing this scene made Lin extremely confused. Thrills, why do you keep letting yourself be attacked like this? Tell the truth. Suddenly, Kella next to her gestured, be quiet. His gaze was very calm as he waited to see what would happen. Let them be. The people here were very angry and shouted loudly, why aren't you resisting? Do you not see us as worthy opponents? Thrills only said one sentence with this leaf, sorry. I'll accept your anger until you feel better. Seeing her kneeling at their feet made them very confused. That is our symbolic position that only we know. Thrills continued to stare directly into their eyes as a fellow demon. I'm sorry. Realizing her change made them very confused. You are a demon, but last time you were with the Talkin. After a moment of silence, Kella finally spoke slowly. That's right. I am the last child of the Demon King Hel Kaldan. I promise you that she is telling the truth. Seeing your current strength makes the other demons tremble. This powerful demonic energy. You must be the son of the Demon King. Are you young Master Kella? That's him. We, the demons of this land, send our greetings to Prince Kella Khaldun. Seeing them showing respect for Kella made Lin on the side very happy. Young Master Kella. Thrills slowly turned back to announce just by looking they see him as the legitimate heir. But looking at the scene before him, he seemed to have no emotions at all. He was just looking through the hole down into the ground. The scenery here was just a mess with abandoned houses. A strange smile suddenly appeared at the corner of Kella's mouth. Yes, perhaps creating our own army isn't that difficult. Seeing Kella appear up high, all the demons below cheered continuously. He is the son of the great demon king, Kella Khaldun. The earth demons welcomed the great Kella Khaldun. The earth demon smiled and stepped forward, saying in a flattering tone, "I will prepare everything you need. Son of the great demon king, just give me the order." Kella just looked around and silently thought, this is an architectural method different from the castle of the demon king and Arsal. Just think about it. You can build such a solid city without using magic. And with natural materials as the main source, the location of the city is also great. I never imagined that such a large city could be hidden underground if they didn't reveal themselves. After thinking this, he turned back to look at Thrills. You were right. Thrills, we need the talents of the earth demons. She laughed excitedly. See, just like I told you. Forget about them. There is an excellent warrior we should recruit. This made him curious, an excellent warrior. Thrill's face became serious as she continued. Talkin discovered this city while on the journey to the Demon King's castle. At that time, the insults were ringing out, thinking that demons were hiding in such a place. I cannot allow any demon to survive, kill the filthy earth demons. All the poor demon could do was run quickly forward to save their tiny lives. Run. Those are Talua's soldiers. Help. Following General Killman's orders, the forest that had hidden this city was burned to ashes, putting the earth demons at risk of extinction. But then, finally some demons stood up and rebelled. You are the wicked ones. How can you massacre the innocent people who don't know how to fight? I cannot allow those lacking the pride of a warrior to touch these children. This surprised Thrills tremendously, a demon risking its life to protect the young ones. After a moment of silence, Killman asked Warrior, "What is your name?" He loudly declared his name. "I am Douglas, son of the earth demons." Killman is quietly remembering this name. Douglas, was it? In his eyes, there was a strangely contemplative expression. After a moment of silence, Killman slowly spoke, "If only you had been born a human." Everyone stop fighting. We will leave this place and continue our journey to the Demon King's castle. This action left Douglas stunned for a moment. What? Thrills turned to leave, but didn't forget to add, "Your bravery has saved your tribe." He stood still there without any movement. The poor children were finally rescued by him. Back to reality. Thrills smiled while recounting the story. Douglas didn't run and tried to save the children until the very end. Hearing this, Lynn's face became very admiring. Douglas did that. Even his name sounds trustworthy. But Kella was seriously pondering, an earth demon who can engage in combat is more than what I could hope for. After thinking for a short while, he immediately suggested, "I'd like to meet this Douglas." The earth demon was slightly startled upon hearing this, but Lord Kella Douglas is quite stubborn. The old man hurriedly reminded in fear, "It would be better for you to look for someone else." But Kella's intention was very firm. "No, I will bring Douglas with me. Where is he now?" A while later, the scene shifted to a vast city wall. Kella's face showed a bit of disappointment. "You refuse to obey me." Douglas is still continuously forging weapons while responding, "You may be the son of the great demon king, but I am not obligated to follow you." This made him hesitate a bit. And what if I use force? Nevertheless, the determination in his eyes remained strong. "Then I will die in battle." This made him feel confused. "Why do you want to stay here so much?" Douglas said while working. "I was born and raised here. I have a duty to protect my homeland. That's why I cannot leave." Hearing these words made Kella sigh as well. "You really are as stubborn as they say." Hearing this, he bowed his head and continued his work. "I'm sorry." Seeing that convincing Douglas was unsuccessful made Kella a bit tired. "Unfortunately, how many more times do I need to pull? I have tried very hard to get an orc ally like Douglas in the game. I guess there is no other way," he said. He would rather die. Remembering something, he turned his head in surprise to look at Douglas. What he noticed was the strange spatial structure in this place. Being too curious, Kella walked and thought, this architecture is really effective. I really want to have someone knowledgeable about earth demons serve me. Meanwhile, Thrills casually grabbed a cup of wine and walked over the wine of the earth. "Demons is amazing." Lynn excitedly called him, "Come try a bit." Watching the actions of the two made Thrills so angry that he gritted his teeth. "These drunks, do they see me working hard to investigate?" After a while, Thrills raised the beer mug high in his hand. He was completely captivated by this flavor. "What is this? Why can I taste yams in this beer?" This made Thrills on one side feel curious. "What's a yams?" At this moment, all three of them were completely drunk. Lynn excitedly laughed and teased Kella's going on about strange things again. "He's as drunk as a skunk at this moment." The address slowly stepped forward and called out, "Oh dear, you're all drunk already." The old man's face, along with everyone else, had become very friendly. "Bring them to our best resting chambers." "Yes, sir." After a while, the scene shifted to a large building. Kella lay still on the bed, deep in sleep. Perhaps because he drank too much alcohol, he couldn't know what was happening. The door slowly opened from the outside. Strange footsteps gradually entered inside. In their hands were powerful weapons. Kella on this side was still sound asleep, unaware of what was happening. Douglas angrily raised the axe towards him. Kella, you wuss. Of course, he was still looking into whatever dreams, unaware of what was happening. The guy did not hesitate to bring the axe down hard. You will die here today. Right after that, looking at the scene before him startled Douglas. How? It turned out Kella was not really asleep. He had gently avoided it fine with this, I'm certain. Seeing him sitting up startled Douglas a bit. Damn, he wasn't asleep. All the jumping around kept cursing, "It's the coward, Kella, kill him." Kella was still sitting there watching what they were going to do. His gaze was extremely angry at this action of everything. Yeah, I was skeptical at first. Over why Douglas that weren't weapons at the smithy. Those restraints wouldn't fit an orc no matter how you look at them. It turns out what Douglas was forging at that time was just a handcuff. And while I was observing my surroundings, I noticed someone was following me. From then on, I started observing my surroundings even more, and noticed a wall with a subtle magical barrier on it. Such a subtle barrier that I wouldn't have noticed it if I didn't inherit the mana of the Demon King. There was also that one weird point. Thrills definitely said that Douglas was protecting young dark elves. But I never saw any young dark elves anywhere in the village. That's when everything made sense. Back to reality, their actions earlier made Kella extremely angry. Without hesitation, he immediately charged forward to attack. Each demon quickly fell before his strength. After a period of silence, Kella slowly began to comment. Douglas, you didn't tell Kilman that you can't let the young dark elves die, but that you can't hand them over. That means you don't care about protecting them, you just don't want them taken away from you. Your words left Douglas speechless for a moment. How did you do that? He can barely endure this anger anymore. Now we should go and release that magical barrier. Sometime later it passed at the residence of these demons. Seeing Kella suppressing Douglas left the surrounding demons in great confusion. How could this happen, the great warrior Douglas? Looking at this scene made him understand somewhat as expected. Everyone knew about this. Otherwise it wouldn't have happened. Even the Hell Demon became very worried and asked, "Damn it, Douglas, you really failed." Seeing the blame from everyone, he could only helplessly lower his head. "I'm sorry." Kella coldly sighed and declared to them, "Don't move. If any of you move an inch, Douglas will die." This made all of them extremely angry. Damn it, how could that coward Kella? Not to mention the story going to another place in town. Kella pulled Douglas here and ordered open the door. Seeing no other choice, he could only pull out an item from his person. Then he slowly opened the mechanism he had prepared. The door gradually opens and the demons inside look out. Among these demons, there are those who are very pitiful, all weak demons. The scene before Kella's eyes forms in an instant. He couldn't believe the reality right in front of him. How is this? They're in worse shape than I imagined. At the same time, Thrills and Lynn also rushed over in time. "Kella, are you all right?" These cowards dared to ambush Sir Kella. The sight before them made both of them stand up in an instant. Kella is trying to stay calm and orders her Thrills. "Can you take one of those dark elves and show me their memories through memory transfer magic?" After thinking for a short while, she seriously explains it'll be less clear than transferring my own memories. But it's possible. Hearing that, he nodded in understanding, then please. As usual, Thrills slowly extends her hand forward. The purple light beams appear, startling the demons present here. Kella similarly narrows his eyes. "This place is hell. My mother's pregnancy and childbirth were forced, and I was born. All life in this place was born that way. And among those young children, those chosen by human nobles are taken away by force, as the chosen young elves could be sold for vast sums of money. Occasionally, adults captured from outside would tell us about the world. The endless sky and the blue oceans, wonderful foods and carefree travels. Things that we could never know in this place. If there is only one thing we wish we had before we die. Even if it's just one thing, if our children could go out and experience those things for themselves." After watching this memory, Kella was so angry that she was speechless, this pitiful existence. "The earth demons, those bastards!" He turned his head to look at Douglas. Unable to hold back any longer, he immediately punched the guy straight in the face. Douglas didn't have time to react before being knocked down painfully backwards. Douglas's body slammed hard against the wall behind. Watching this memory made Thrills extremely angry. "What, so you are not trying to save the children, you are trying to smuggle them?" He did not avoid it, but rather confirmed it. "That's right. The Dark Elves are a species that human nobles crave. The Dark Elves are a species loved by nature, living in places that they recommend allow us to live in peace. Doesn't that make them perfect for raising as livestock?" Thrills angrily stepped forward. "You bastard!" Lynn shouted loudly. "How can you enslave those other demons?" Nevertheless, Douglas still did not speak loudly enough to explain, with the Demon King dead, they're essential to us if we want to survive from the humans. Kella clenched her fist tightly. He remembered what had happened to him. "I have suffered enough from enduring my father's oppression. But these children are living in pain that cannot be compared to what I have endured. I cannot just stand still while something like this is happening right in front of me. Thinking of this, he turned to look at the two who called out Thrills Lin. Let's finish the job that Killman left unfinished. Hearing this, Thrills nodded in understanding. I agree, these bastards dare to betray their own kind. Lin also angrily stepped forward and declared, I cannot forgive them. Not thinking much, Kella prepared to get to work. Me too. We will cleanse this place of the earth demons. Seeing the situation going wrong, Douglas hurriedly shouted to everyone, Help me fight everyone! There are only 3 of them! After saying that, the demons rushed straight at the 3 die. Lin hurriedly used her hands to block all these attacks the remaining orcs were attacking. Thrills uncomfortably attacked straight at the demons in front. How dare you rebel against the lineage of the Demon King? A chaotic explosion occurred here. They kept encouraging each other. Don't back down unlike the others. Kella is not a coward. We have no reason to obey him. Lin just attacked those people while loudly cursing nonsense. Lord Kella will become the next Demon King. At the same time, Douglas also rushed in front of Kella to attack Dai Kella. He kept reminding himself, this isn't a game, this is real life if I can change things with my own power. He put all his strength into a kick straight to Douglas's face. Then I won't stay put like before. On one side, the poor demons gasped at the sight before them kill them. The surprised demons turned to look at each other. Could they be doing this for us? Wood's face became decisive. Then we have to help them. Seeing this, the other small demons tried to stop him. What are you doing, Wood? It's dangerous. Get back. If they lose, we'll be tortured again. Just stay put, Wood. Hearing this, the girl's eyes gradually became fearful torture. Suddenly, memories came flooding back when she was brutally beaten. These memories only caused Wood more pain as she cried out. Seeing the girl like that made Kella freeze for a moment. He turned to Douglas and declared, Do you hear those cries of pain? You'll get all of them back. Realizing the situation was not good, Douglas reached into his pocket as if to take something out. He suddenly pulled out a pill hidden in his pants as I thought this won't do. Not wanting to waste another moment, Douglas hurriedly opened his mouth to put the pill inside. Feeling it was still not enough, he didn't need to cut off the order for the other subordinates. Everyone, eat your earth ores. Losing to them means losing everything. Douglas ate his earth ore, let's eat ours too. Witnessing this scene left Lin baffled. Earth ores, I thought that stuff was just a legend. Kella turned to her and asked what was that. Thrill's voice urgently explained when consumed in exchange for a portion of a demon's lifespan. It boosts their physical capabilities by several dozens times. Douglas's body was gradually undergoing a transformation. His muscles suddenly swelled to a terrifying size. Kella, I'm going to kill you now. Douglas had transformed into a giant demon. This form left Kella speechless. No way their demonic energy has increased alongside their physical capabilities. I can't use all the abilities hell bestowed upon me yet. Not to waste time, Douglas immediately launched an attack. Prepare yourself. This situation made Thrills also feel scared. This is dangerous. Suddenly, giant vines appeared from underneath the ground. It wrapped tightly around Douglas's body while he was unaware. Unable to move, he was scared and kept screaming, What is this? At this moment, Wood slowly stepped forward and said, Never again. I don't want to be tortured ever again. Seeing the girl directly attack Douglas made all the remaining demons frightened. Wood, you've really gone and done it now. He couldn't hide the anger on his face and declared, Damn you, how dare you get in my way? I'm going to torture you until you die. Sensing that something was wrong, he suddenly realized the situation. Kella, annoyed, attacked Douglas's body with her hand. Don't screw with me. That's never going to happen. Her hand pierced straight into his body, causing him immense pain. Shit. Meanwhile, Kella also asked, Wood, was it? He turned around and smiled, gently praising the girl. I think I like you. This made Wood freeze for a moment. Douglas on the side had woken up to the point of being unable to bear it anymore. Wood, I raised you who was abandoned. You dare betray me. Screw torture, I'm going to kill you right now. Seeing him suddenly go crazy like that startled Kella a bit. What his body got bigger. Douglas's punch slowly lifted into the air. Before Kella could react, he struck him with a blow like thunder. His body was knocked back like that. Kella slammed painfully against the wall. At this moment, he realized the true power of Douglas is an earth magic stone that strong. Seizing the opportunity while he was still injured, Douglas charged to attack Wood Die Wood. The guy's hand squeezed tightly on the girl's neck, leaving her no time to react. His voice was cruel and terrifying. Wood, I will rip your head right off. This huge hand made it impossible for the girl to breathe. Seeing the situation worsening, Kella hurriedly sat up. Has he gone insane? He's more focused on killing Wood than fighting me. The girl's eyes gradually became desperate, losing all consciousness. Even though she was very angry, Kella could do nothing at the moment. Damn, he's too far if this continues. I need a long-range attack. His eyes widened with a fearful look as he prayed anything is fine, so please. Echoing sounds appeared as Kella opened her eyes again. He had arrived somewhere. What is this place? The dark god appeared from behind and mocked, "Idiot, this is within your consciousness." He suddenly remembered that a strange person was standing behind him. Kella, seeing this, angrily turned around to question, "Who are you?" He laughed as if he didn't want to reveal his identity too soon. "Don't you want to know how to save that person? No matter how slow time flows in this place, you will need to act quickly." At this moment, Kella finally remembered her original purpose. That's right, Wood. She hurriedly looked towards him and asked, "Do you have a way to save Wood?" He just laughed and said with a somewhat smug tone, "You are not ready to use the full power that Hel Kaldun has given you. However, as your mind and body become more in sync, you can unlock even more." Feeling that time was running out, Kella hurriedly urged, "Forget about the explanation. Tell me what power I can use right now." Seeing no other way, he nodded in understanding. "All right, there is something you can use. Kella Kaldun Kang Chi Wu. I will see you again soon." His words left Kella stunned for a moment. What? The more he thought about it, the more confused he felt. How does he know my name? Finally, Kella has returned to reality. He hurriedly looked at the force intertwined beneath his hand. This is Hell's rocket arrow. Without hesitation, he picked up this bow and arrow. If it's this, Wood, protect your body. Seeing this arrow made Douglas freeze for a moment, that is. Wood is still struggling to escape from the oppression of the guy. Seeing the little girl preparing to run away only fueled Douglas's hatred, this bastard. Kella coldly looked straight at the guy and declared, "This is the end of all your dirty deeds, Douglas." Not wanting to waste any more time, he immediately shot the arrow straight ahead. Looking at this arrow made Douglas afraid, but he couldn't do anything. The screams of the guy echoed everywhere. The scene became increasingly chaotic. He could only cry out in despair, but in the end, Douglas was completely engulfed by the flames. After doing this, Kella finally let out a sigh of relief. It's done. It's a direct hit. Douglas's body was burning to the point that he couldn't stop screaming. After a while, the screams gradually faded away, leaving only the sounds from around. At the same time, Kella also looked at the bow in her hand. Then what was the thing I met in my consciousness? The monsters kept rushing to attack, causing Lynn to be a bit startled with fear. There's too many of them. Over here, Thrills was also having a lot of trouble. Damn, I can't use splash magic because of the ceiling. Realizing that the two of them were in trouble, Kella quickly took action. Don't worry, I'll finish this in a flash. He shot different arrows straight at the demons. Before they could react, the arrows had already pierced into them, causing them to scream in pain. This made Thrills extremely happy, thinking fire arrow using demonic energy. Kella's mana got stronger. Over here, Kella was also quietly calculating, I now have long-range attacks. The corners of his mouth spread into an excited smile. Nice, very nice. In the dark night space, black smoke slowly rose into the air. After a long time dealing with these demons, Lynn felt a bit happy. Finally, everything is taken care of. At the same time, Thrills also picked up these crystals to examine. These mineral deposits are much stronger than I expected. She surprisedly added, and thought to herself, I didn't know they would burn through your lifespan. Kella angrily clenched the crystals in her hand. We definitely need to investigate these. Remember something for me? He turned back to remind now all of you. Being free, his face decisively announced to all the kidnapped demons. Don't let yourself be caught by scum like them again and live your life freely. Hearing this made the demon slaves extremely surprised. Free, we are free. Kella nodded to confirm what she just said. Yes, you can leave this place right now. We can take our children out of this hell. Overwhelmed with emotion, they quickly knelt down on the ground. Thank you very much, Kella. Seeing the situation seem serious made Thrill sigh. It seems we won't be able to take the Earth Demons as our subordinates. I really didn't expect to be fooled by those guys. Lynn next to him seemed to be deep in thought. It's a pity, but we can't do anything. Remembering something, Kella asked Wood, you weren't born here, but were kidnapped, right? Hearing her name, the girl quickly nodded in agreement. Yes. He continued to look at the girl inquisitively. I assume you don't have any relatives to live with either. This statement left the girl stunned for a moment. Although reluctant to admit it, Wood could only helplessly nod yes. After thinking for a short while, Kella quickly suggested, then come with us. We need an Earth Demon who can navigate terrain. This statement left Wood stunned for a moment, but I'm not an Earth Demon, and I'm not talented when it comes to terrain. I won't be able to help you at all. As if understanding the girl's feelings, he gently comforted her. Don't worry. You're an elf who receives nature's love. Plus, you just showed that you're braver than anyone else in the face of danger. That's plenty now. Get up and come with me. That was the first time Wood received respect. The girl's voice gradually became hesitant, Sir Kella. At the time of going back before, I don't even remember what my parents looked like. I was abandoned somewhere, and I was taken here living my life in suffering. I lived in this hell my whole life. I thought I was going to live like this until the day I died. Tears rolled down Wood's face. Can I really leave this place? Can I really follow you? Kella seriously explained, you won't be following me. You'll be going with me. This statement left Wood stunned for a moment. Realizing there isn't much time left, he quickly pulled the girl up. Now let's get out of here. Wood really regarded him as a benefactor. Thank you, Kella. Thank you. Time gradually shifted towards late evening. Finally, the demon slaves were released. And so we dealt with the earth monsters and rescued the captured dark elves. I was worried because they had never been outside before, but they are creatures loved by nature. Wherever they live and however they live, that place will be better than this one. Seeing that everyone had been freed, everyone felt relieved. In Wood's eyes, there was a mix of joy and concern. Sometime later, the moon rose high in this place. Lynn was extremely angry as she approached Wood. Listening, you are new here, so you have to listen to us. Do you understand? The girl nodded in understanding. Yes, whatever you need. Thrills quickly suggested then, let's go find a place with a flowing river. This made Wood a little curious. A river? I smell water over there. Seeing the girl so nimble made Lynn even more annoyed. You are quite good. I will acknowledge that Wood could only nod in agreement. Thank you. Remembering something, Kella asked in surprise. Thrills, why are we searching for a river? Thrills laughed and turned around to explain, because we can't just keep walking like this. We need to find something to ride. If we find a river, we might find something like that? This made Lynn very excited. Let's go catch a dragon. As if reading her thoughts, she quickly turned around to warn, don't dream about catching a dragon. I want a dragon. We will be very lucky if we find a unicorn. Kella announced to everyone, good, let's follow the direction Wood pointed. Some time passed at a wide river branch. The spirit beasts were still standing there drinking water. Hearing a strange noise made them startle and raise their heads. Sensing that something was wrong, they hurriedly ran quickly ahead. Here appeared a footprint of a gigantic spirit beast. It was even so large that the footprint was imprinted on the ground. It turned out that this spirit beast was a giant dragon. On this side, Lynn kept complaining, I want a dragon, I said. Thrills irritably turned around to remind, I told you there are no dragons.